You ready? Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, everyone.
And welcome to our vlog. You join us on a...
Well, it's a bit cloudy and overcast, isn't it? But actually, it's not bad cruising weather.
No, it's not.
No, but we're not cruising today.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
So for people that are expecting a cruising video this week, we apologise immensely. We're not doing a cruising video this week. We're going to be talking about the lithiums. I know a lot of them will go, oh, and switch off, but that's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
We felt that we'd been saying about the lithiums for some time, and we thought, well,
it was about time we did the second in our series.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched the first in our series, Pat will try and put a link in.
Yeah. I'll try and put a link above Eileen's head, but I'm not sure that's going to work.
A link in to the first video where we talk about why and what the reasons are that we're changing to lithium batteries.
Yeah, just to give you sort of a brief overview, we kind of ended up with some of the reasons why we didn't choose other types of batteries and why we specifically went for lithiums. We also briefly talked about where the original batteries were stored and how they were performing. In this video, we're just going to briefly touch beforehand what the batteries that we've chosen, what style of batteries we've chosen, and why. And also why we've decided that we're going to install the batteries inside in a cupboard inside the boat. We're also going to look at the installation, the closure, and where we've installed it.
Yeah, and what alterations we've had to do to the boat to put the batteries where we wanted to put them.
Yeah, exactly. We're also going to discuss the 230 volt preparations. We needed to make some changes to our 240 volt supplies, and we're going to briefly talk about those and why we did those.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss why we fitted the 5 shunts that we spoke about in the last video. This is really was in preparation for our change of our lithium batteries. We decided that we were going to do some experimenting beforehand to see whether we could get certain results, and we're just going to briefly discuss over those.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about why we bought Victron batteries as opposed to cell batteries, basically. I mean, it would have been a lot cheaper to have bought individual cells, lithium cells, and put them together, but why did we go for lithium? Yeah.
And why did we go specifically for Victron, which is what we've decided to go for. So talking about the preparation of the cupboard, we have taken some photographs. I'll show you them here, and in preparation for the installation of the lithium batteries, we needed to put them in a cupboard which was suitably kept at the right temperature. We needed to make sure that they were kept dry and in the right condition. So we prepared a cupboard which actually is below our back steps, as you can see in the photograph. We needed to remove these steps in such a way that you didn't have to unscrew them all and all that lot, because we were going to be needing to remove the steps on a frequent basis in order to install the batteries initially, but also
to make checks,
and also for any maintenance that we needed to do on the batteries in the future. So we removed all of the steps in one go, and we then reinstalled them with a different type of system. You'll see in this short video an explanation of how we've done that. We're just going to go through how we prepared the steps and the cupboard for the lithium batteries. This was done previously, and we've just made a modification so that we can get access to the bottom of the cupboard. Arlene's going to show you the bottom of the cupboard.
So our access steps from the stern, excuse all the washing hanging up there, were fixed. They were fixed steps except for that top one, which came off, and we had storage underneath. And the cupboard here is an electrical cupboard, which was basically all one cupboard. Basically, you open the doors and there was the inverter.
This is going to be a little bit difficult to show you how these come apart in such a small space, but we're going to give it a go. So the steps themselves used to be fixed, but we've now made them so that they can come out, and they can come out without having to use any spanners, tools or anything like that. The way it works, you can lift the top one up, move it out and just tip it to one side. That takes out the first step. Inside there's just a little shelf just to hold stuff and what have you. Then just to the side here there's a little bolt and another little bolt, and then at the top here there's another little bolt and another little bolt, and you just undo those bolts and that then will slide out, and you can see the bolts here. Yeah, so that's that one. The next step is the main support step. That comes out, again just lifts up, twists over, and again there's 4 bolts, one there, 3 bolts on this one at the bottom, one at the side, and that then again just lifts out. The next step just got 2 little bolts, one at either side, and that then lifts up, and then there's a supporting bracket which just comes out, and then the bottom one here, that just has 3 little bolts that comes out, and that then just slides out. To get the top part out, you this bar here, which is a main supporting bar, that actually just lifts up, and the whole lot comes out together. Then the 2 bars at the side literally just slide out like so. That then gives you access to this area, and then the bottom of the cupboard, there are 2 little bolts inside which you undo, and then the cupboard itself, the bottom of the cupboard then opens like so. And it's a bit messy in here at the moment, but a couple of bits that have got to be installed, and it's a bit messy in there at the moment, but that is basically where the batteries will go. We also needed to install fans into the cupboard in order to dissipate the heat. One of the problems with any battery system is heat, and it's your enemy, because any excess heat will eventually destroy the batteries. They'll deteriorate through time, but heat will exacerbate that and will make it easier for the batteries to deteriorate. So we've installed a fan system which allows us to bring in cool air, or as cool as we can get, and take out the hot air. What we've done is the manufacturers state that you shouldn't install the batteries below the inverter. I suggest that anybody that is installing new lithium batteries read through the instruction manuals very carefully, because it's very important to understand the reasons why the manufacturers have put this in. they have stated not to install the batteries below the inverter. We have installed the batteries below the inverter, but what we've done is we've compartmentalized the batteries into a small compartment below the inverter. This needed then to have a system, a fan system, in order to keep them cool. It's completely isolated from the rest of the inverter, and in fact I've taken great pains to make sure that it's completely isolated by using a foam to completely, you'll see that in the videos.
And you'll see that in the next video.
In the next video. Many battery manufacturers in their own way give different information, and it is difficult to compare apples to apples. They will often talk about C ratings on batteries, and this is designed as a standardize and make it easier for you to view the differences.
However, the main way that we have looked at purchasing batteries is by looking at what the manufacturer's prepared to guarantee or warranty their batteries. For example, if you read the specifications and read the warranty details, you'll find that many of them will state that they will only guarantee the batteries for 2 or 3 years at a 50% discharge rate, as do Victron. That's why we've taken the decision to purchase 3 200 amp hour lithium batteries, adding up to 600 amp hours in total, which based on a 50% discharge would give us 300 amp hours of total usable power.
We also made some changes to our 230 volt installation, and the reason for this was because we had intended at some point to install more equipment on the boat, and the original 230 volt breakers and installation really wasn't suitable to add anything further to the boat. So we changed the breaker system, and we put in a complete new breaker system, for which we'll show you a schematic drawing of that, and we'll discuss it, but we don't go into great details on that because it is really a separate subject from the lithium side of it, although we did install it with using 230 volts. More 230 volts.
Yeah, and you checked the galvanic isolator as well
while you
were at it, didn't you?
And I also at the same time checked the shore power inlet and the galvanic isolator in order to make sure that that was all working correctly. It's very important to have a galvanic isolator, or alternatively, if you can afford them and they're quite big and they're quite bulky, an isolation transformer on the shore power input. The isolation transformer is a far better way of doing the shore power installation.
But we didn't go down that route.
We didn't go down that route because we already had the galvanic isolator, and also we probably won't be plugging into, the whole idea of fitting all this lot is so that we don't need to plug into shore power on a regular basis. We spoke about the shunts that we installed in the last video. We installed, I think it was 6 shunts, and we tested each of the batteries. The aim of that was really so that we could individually switch each battery out, so that we only had one battery connected to the solar power system. This meant that any solar power that we had would only go into one battery. The idea of that was to test to see if it was possible over a period of time,
mainly during winter, wasn't it?
Mainly during winter,
yeah.
To get the batteries up to fully charged float condition, and therefore be able to use that type of system. As we found, that actually didn't work. We weren't able to get enough solar to be even charge a single battery.
And that was over several days, wasn't it?
Over several days, yeah.
It didn't go into flow at all. So why did we go for Victron instead of cell batteries?
Yeah, it's a good question. Victron specifically are a manufacturer that have gone into lithiums and into the whole system that they supply. The systems that they supply are extremely well made. They are good quality and they have a good guarantee. Other manufacturers, we could have gone down the route of buying lithium cells ourselves and installing the BMSs. The problem with that is that currently at the moment, although there are better manufacturers on the market, the majority of them are Chinese made BMS systems, and although some of them are okay to use, didn't feel confident that a made up system whereby you buy the cells and you install the BMS would be of a good quality. It's also quite important to understand that these manufacturers, specifically Victron and as I worked for Honeywell as well, they go through a vigorous process of checking their batteries to one extent to the other. So they understand them inside out, and that's quite an important part. And that gives me the confidence to know that I've bought a good product and that the whole system is integrated.
Yeah, and it just gives us the confidence that, that we know that we're buying a system that will last us into the future.
Also, I'd like to show you at this point, I'd like to show you the schematic drawing that I did. I spent days drawing this schematic drawing, and you'll see by the schematic drawing it's quite complex, and in the end, just to say that this particular drawing is not the drawing that we used. I'll show you the next drawing after this one is the drawing that we used. Yeah. You'll see by the schematic drawing that I've done, there is quite a lot in there to discuss, and I'll go through each individual part as we go along through the videos. Just to say that from my original schematic drawing, you'll see now that I have changed it, and I actually have got a Victron.
Yeah, you'd spent days doing this schematic drawing, and then he was just randomly looking on the Victron site, weren't you? And found the exact one that he wanted. Apart from the fact I think it was dealing with
the original drawing was designed for 600 amp hours of lithium batteries, but they were two 300 amp hour batteries, where we have gone for three 200 amp hour. So we had to do a redraw on that. But effectively, the schematic is exactly the same. We have made some changes on there where we talk about the alternator and how we've achieved the connections to the alternator. But just to say that we then decided to purchase everything from Victron. We were going to look at even the buzz bars as well. We decided from the first drawing that we did that it would be extremely hard in the cupboard to put in different buzz bars in different areas. So in the end we went for the Lynx system, which is a complete buzz bar system, and in order to be able to squeeze everything into the cupboard.
Yeah, but there's more of that in the next video, isn't
and in the next video you'll see how we've managed to squeeze all of that into a small space. So with that, we hope you've enjoyed this little video. It is quite technical, and we hope that it makes a bit of sense. Some of the next video will be a little bit more technical as well, but this is just an overlay of what there is to come, really. So
if you haven't subscribed to our channel, why not subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below.
yeah, and we'll carry on making the cruising videos. You'll see that as we go along, hopefully.
I think the next video will be another lithium install, and then the following video after that is back to cruising.
Back to cruising, yeah. We know that there's lots of people out there like our cruising videos. We're also going to try and put some other videos together as well. People have asked for looking at the amateur radio side of stuff. I'm going to see if I can put something together with that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again
next time.
Next time.
Bye
for now.
We only give one life, I wanna